Good morning, you guys, and welcome back to another vlog.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad, they don't salute you. I need a bag.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Keela Trishan, and I make videos on lifestyle, insurance, working a 9 to 5, and mental health. I also do vlogs, day in the life in the insurance industry, day in the life of a small child, all the things. If that's something that interests you, go on ahead and click that subscribe button below. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for your support. All right, so my parents know that spring break has started for a lot of schools. So my son technically starts spring break next week, but today his school is out. What? His school's out for 10 days. He wanted me to tell y'all. So yeah, so basically it's going to be he and I today. We have a couple little fun things planned. Just taking a walk outside. I need to be better about getting actually outside and not just walking downstairs on my treadmill. Also, I owe this guy a trip to get a cake pop. So we're going to do that later on. But anyways, yeah, I've got a good amount of work, that I need to get done today, as I do pretty much every day. Since it's the end of the month, we are working on setting reserves for our claims. If you don't know what reserves are, it's basically just guesstimating how much money you're going to need to resolve a claim. So I'm working on that heavily today. One of my coworkers is out of the office till next week, and so we've all been kind of helping him with his desktop. His supervisor, though, has been sending like all kinds of activities our way, activities that we actually are not responsible for. I think he's just trying to move the claims along while he's out of the office. And I don't mind helping. I truly don't mind helping, but I also don't have time to work somebody else's whole desk and work mine. So yeah, I'm just logging in, literally just logged in. And so I'm setting up all of my, put your feet down. I'm setting up all of my systems and stuff. And I always start with my email. Let's see, what are they talking about? Yeah, I always start with my email just to see what kind of came in overnight. And I also power up my phone to see if I got any voicemails. I do like to handle those first thing. If I got any voicemails or if I got any emails, I like to address those first before I start working on my desktop. The reason being behind that is I just don't like anything to fester for too long. The quicker you get back to people, the easier your life will be. You won't have people just blowing you up. Like if they feel like they're ignored, they will blow you up. And so that actually gives me anxiety. So in order to alleviate that, I get back to people as soon as I possibly can. So that's that. As far as my activities for the day that I have assigned to myself, since it's Friday, I try to make sure that I make it a light day. I think I've said this in like different videos where I try to go, like I have my heaviest workload like Monday, Tuesday-ish. Wednesday is kind of like medium. And then Thursday and Friday, I try to trickle off just to make it easier so I can kind of ease out of the week. Now, it doesn't always work. Sometimes things come up that I have to address. Sometimes I have phone calls that I have scheduled and just all kinds of things can happen. But that is how I like to schedule my weeks to just make the job not as crazy. So yeah, I'll be back to let y'all know what's going on. I got to make me and the boy breakfast. So I'm going to do that after I get all these systems up and running. But he has just had his little vitamins. Huh? You good with your vitamins? He just had his vitamins, so he's good with that. But I'm going to go make our breakfast and we're going to get the day started. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have my breakfast. I just have an egg and cheese sandwich with 2 pieces of wheat bread and my coffee. And then the boy has McDonald's, pancakes, and orange juice. We have a thing in our house where we do allow one outside meal. And this took some time. If y'all been watching me for a while, you know I used to struggle with the Door Dashes and the Postmates and all that stuff. But these days, we basically cook all of our meals at home. But we do allow one meal a week outside of the house. And so today, he chose to use his one meal outside the house. And that happened to be McDonald's pancakes. Now, mind you, I'm still getting him a cake pop later because normally I will take him to get one on a Friday. And since today's Friday, we'll still do that. But yeah, anyway, so I am completely logged in and I got everything set up. So that supervisor I was telling you about just reaches out to everybody to tell us to put some documentation into our files for the employee that we're helping out. So I'm going to do that actually before I forget to do so, because I'm about to be caught up for the next few hours. But I did start, before I made my food, I started to make to do the reserve request. I'm just going through all of my files to see which claims actually need a reserve request. And then the ones that don't, I'm just pushing those out or doing whatever I had planned for today on those. So yeah, that will literally take up my whole day. But while I'm in the claim, basically, I'm going to request whatever reserves I need to request. And then whatever I have to do on that diary, I'll address that if I need to do follow-ups and stuff like that. That's mainly today. I don't have anything actually set that I was planning to do. Oh, you know what? I do need to do a partial denial letter that I've been working on for days. Oh my God. I've been working on it for days. Like, it's just so much like this going into it that I have to I had a template and I'm going to have to change that whole template. So it's just a lot of work that I'm going to need to do. And I really do want to get it done so I can mail it off today. But anyway, I'll be back. All right, you guys. So it's been a couple of hours. I am still going strong with those reserve requests. I did take a break, as you saw, to entertain my child. Here's the thing. When you're working from home with a small child, toddler, if you will, they need to be entertained, okay? And that's basically what was happening here. He wanted me to come sit with him for a little bit, and technically I do get 2 breaks and my lunch. So when he's here, I will utilize those breaks. I don't always do it when I'm here by myself because I'm by myself, so it's not really that big of a deal. But when he's here, I try to make sure that I am spending time with him and then also trying to get my work done. So there is that. So I'm working on these reserve requests. I've gotten through a couple. I'm working on one right now where I don't really need to request a lot of money for actual house or anything like that. I'm requesting money more or less for the content. So we had a total loss list of contents that their vendor submitted, and I think we only had like about 100,000 or so in reserves for the personal property, but the list is like around 250K. So I needed to request more money for that. So this one should hopefully go through pretty quickly. The thing is though, like usually when it's getting approved, whoever's approving it is looking at the overall dollar amount of the claim. So if it's over my supervisor's limit, then it'll likely have to go to her supervisor and so on and so forth. So I'm going to put that in now because I want her to be able to look at it. She's not in the office this week, but she'll be back next week. So knowing her, she's probably going to work the weekend and all of that. So I am going to just make sure that I have all this stuff together for her. So when she comes in, she doesn't have any questions. She just sees, my statement of loss and my updated request. So there is that. Let's see. So I think I'm going to the partial denial I was telling you guys about. I think I'm going to work on that after lunch. I want to use the beginning part of the day to get these reserves out since it's so important. Most companies kind of have like a quarterly thing. So like every end of quarter, they want to have certain things put out. And sometimes that includes the reserves. So, well, at least the companies that I work for. I don't know if everybody works that way, but I would assume since I've worked for a few different insurance companies. So it's very important that I get these reserve requests out this week because this is the last full week of March. And then next week we're starting April. So I want to make sure that these things are at least on my supervisor's desktop and diary so she has a chance to address them before the end of the month. I was able to address the emails that I got. It was just a couple. One of them was about, yes, honey? What? Yeah, you can have. He wanted another popsicle, so he was asking. But anyway, so all these things have been addressed as far as the email. So one of them was about personal property. We've been waiting a long time for a few of these total loss lists to be completed because we're waiting for the customers to provide additional information. And some of these customers are just like not, they're just not giving the information up front, which honestly is fine. Like the longer it takes them to do it, the longer it's going to take us to review. So that's just kind of where we're at. You need some help open it? Okay. Why he got this all on my face? My God. Here. Those are some mini random. They're mini popsicles and they're sugar free, so I don't really mind him eating, a couple of them. And they're mostly just like made with fruit and stuff. So anyway, so yeah, I am just basically doing follow ups on those contents list where we're waiting for the customer to provide information. So I'll just reach out on those and just kind of see where we're at, see if the vendor has gotten any additional information and kind of what their next step is, just so I can make sure that it shows I'm actually working it and actually following up. And then those things are going to be pushed out until next week because remember, it's Friday and there are a lot of things today that are going to become a Monday problem. So, yeah, I will keep in touch with you guys. I'll probably come back around lunchtime. I have meal prep basically, or well, not quite meal prep, but I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous vlog, but we're doing Factor right now. I don't know if that's like common knowledge what Factor is amongst people. I know I see a lot of like advertisements on my social media and stuff, but they're like a meal preparation service and you can specify. This isn't sponsored, by the way. I don't get sponsored deals yet, but you can specify whether you want, let's say, high protein, high fiber, keto, vegetarian. You can specify like whatever you want. So my husband and I get those meals for lunch. They're pretty decent on like the calorie end. We do high protein and fiber. So we have those for lunch, and then it allows me to make dinner every couple of nights as opposed to every night like I was doing before. So like every other night I make dinner. The dinner lasts for 2 nights. It honestly is like chef's kiss. So yeah. But anyways, let me go on ahead and get back to these reserves so I can get done. I still have about like 2.5 hours before I log out for lunch, which is a good amount of time for me to, hopefully get the reserves that I need to get requested. And yeah, I'll be back to let you guys know what's happening and if I was successful in getting those things done. Oh, that's cool. His shell? That is cool. You're so talented. How'd you be so talented? All right, you guys. So I just got out of a 45-minute meeting. It was like a little trivia situation, so it was fun. I didn't win anything, but there's that. So I decided to take a little break. Noticed that my son hadn't had any water today, which is a no-no. So I'm gonna go on ahead and get him some water, and I'm also preheating the oven to make his pizza. It is Friday, so I try to keep it fun. We eat pretty healthy during the week, including him, but on Fridays we have a little fun. We like to switch it up. So I'm gonna heat up his pizza, just a frozen pizza from Whole Foods. You guys have seen me make that before. And then you're gonna have strawberries with it, okay? We have fruit, so I wanna make sure he has some fruit on the side. And then I am gonna be having a smoothie, like a protein smoothie, because I'm not actually hungry yet. So I'll probably have my lunch like after lunchtime. And then on lunch, he and I are gonna go for a walk around our complex, just something to get the blood flowing. I'm supposed to be doing some cardio, and normally I would do it downstairs on the treadmill, but since he is here, and I think I mentioned this earlier, since he's here, I want to make sure that I get us outside, get some vitamin D because it is a beautiful day. So we're gonna go and do that walk together just around the complex. So yeah, so let me go on ahead and get the stuff together for my smoothie, because the plan actually is to have the smoothie at my desk before I actually clock out for lunch. So then by the time I get to lunch, we can just go walking. So yeah. Oh, as far as the update that I owe y'all on what I have been able to complete. So I did get most of the reserve requests completed. As far as sending them in, I still have one more to go. Not that big of a deal. If I don't get it done before lunch, I'll get it done like as soon as I come back. But then my main goal, I keep saying, and I have to keep saying it to remind myself, my main goal is to finish that partial denial that I've been working on for days. I need to get that out and held off today. So I will be handling that. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all right now. So I'll be checking back in periodically to let you know what's happening and how we're ending out the day on this Good Friday. Okay, so I come back to my desktop just to see what's left for me for today, and I have like 5 different emails, and I'm like, what is going on somebody else's claim? And they are documents that have nothing to do with me. I'm so confused, and it's one person that is sending these things to me, and I'm just like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this? Leave me alone. I have my own diary on the claim. I do not need you to send me every single thing that's in the file. Like, what is really wrong? Y'all, it just be these little annoyances when you work in claims, but it's fine. It's fine. We're all fine. I'm going through them now, and they're not like serious. They're actually things that I put in the file that I guess he's assigning to me, thinking that it was something new. So weird. So, anyways, yeah, there's that. But the pizza's almost ready, so I'm gonna go and take that out of the oven, let it cool down a little bit, let him eat, drink my smoothie, and then we're gonna go on our walk. So, yeah, I'll be back. Here's your food, and then here's your thing. You want me to go bring you a juice right now? Okay. Come down and eat your food. Okay, you guys. So we just got back inside from our little walk. It was cool. It's warm. It's nice outside in Southern California. So we are always grateful for that. It's a little hot, so I'm like, dang, I really wore all black today. But I'm normally inside the house. So there is that. Now I'm gonna do. I actually have an appointment at 3, so I'm gonna take a small break around that time. But it's a little after 1 right now, so I'm gonna go on ahead and work on that assignment I was telling you guys I was gonna do earlier, and then the boy is gonna read. So his school has him reading so many pages a day, and it really helps. Like, he's really good with his words and spelling and stuff like that. So the reading is definitely helpful, and it's giving him something to do during this time. So we're about to go upstairs and grab him a book so he can go on ahead and get that done, and then yeah, I will. Oh, I got an email. Forgot to mention that. I did get an email while I was out. Actually, it was a little before I went to lunch. I just didn't have a chance to respond. So I am going to review that email. It's from one of our contents vendors. So I guess they did get some information from the insured and their attorney. I need to go through it just to see if there's any, things that we don't approve of on here. And if there is, I'll let them know. If not, then we're good. Basically, people can claim whatever they want. If it was in the house at the time of the loss and it's covered, then it's something that the policy would cover up to the policy limits. The only thing is some items have like limits. For most companies, it's like rugs, for example. Like it'll say Oriental rugs in the policy, or jewelry, other different collectibles. Art is a big one. So those are things that I'm going to go through and just kind of look and see if we have any issues there. And then I'll just make sure that the vendor knows, hey, like whatever they're claiming, just make sure that you're applying the proper limits for those things. So that is it, y'all. Yeah, it's turning out to be a pretty productive day. I will say that. That doesn't always happen, but I am blessed to say that I feel like I've gotten a good amount of stuff done, at least like what I plan to get done here. So yes. Anyway, I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. I'm trying to get as much as I can done before my appointment, before I, log off for Friday. So, yes, I'll be back and kind of popping in here and there to let y'all know what's happening. You want to read that? I got your voicemail earlier on the claim for Steve. I understand that you did the inspection earlier today. Feel free to give me a call back. I'm sorry for getting back to you so late. I was in a meeting. Thank you. All right, you guys. So we are at the end of the day, and I'm so excited. I did not finish that letter. Like, I still need to revise it. And that was like the main thing that I wanted to get done today. But, sometimes things don't always work out the way you want them to. The thing is, there is an attorney on this claim. Our attorney and the insured has an attorney. So I want to make sure that the partial denial has all the right language and I've reviewed all the documents and I have all the right information in there. So I'm going to just make sure I'm almost done, but I still need to do revisions and it's getting late. So I am just going to finish that Monday morning and get it sent out, but it's fine. It was a transferred claim. So, I mean, it's kind of been passed around. And I mean, it's definitely a priority to get it out, but I just could not make it happen today. And the last thing I want to do is send out some half-ass work. The kid had fun today. Did you have fun today, baby? He shook his head. I don't know if y'all can see, but he's in the background. He had a good day. We went out on my lunch break for a walk. We played Frisbee. It was really a time. And like I said, the weather was really nice. I also had a doctor's appointment. It was a quick appointment, but I took him with me. We were there for like literally 15 minutes. So it's been a decent day. Now I'm about to just like close everything out, start moving my activities to next week. And I'm going to go and do my workout for the night and eat some dinner and chill. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, definitely go on ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget, I always say at the end of my video to let me know if there are any ideas, anything that you want to see, anything that you want me to get into, especially since I'm doing insurance videos, but also videos about 9-to-5s. Let me know if there's anything that you want to discuss. I filmed a video earlier this week about how to get good customer service scores. So I'm going to work on that, edit it this weekend. I don't know when it's going to go up, probably sometime next week. We'll see. But yeah, I'm just trying to play with different things and make sure that I get you guys what you need. If you made it this far and have not subscribed, definitely go on ahead and click the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. That being said, you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.
Future. You mad, they don't salute you. I need a bag, size is super. They turned your back, it's like I never knew you.